Do your own research and due diligence before investing in any company. The information I provide is in no way or manner a professional suggestion to purchase shares in any publicly traded company. I am not licensed to provide financial advice, and this should be considered entertainment. These stock profiles are intended to be trading ideas, a starting point for research. Any individual who chooses to invest in any securities should do so with caution. Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk. You may lose some or all the money that is invested. Always research your own investments and consider consulting with a registered investment advisor or a licensed stockbroker before investing. Yes, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Salman back in the building. Who's in the chat room already? How do I sound? I sound good? Make sure here, let me get to the watch screen, see what you guys are seeing. Hope everybody had a really good and prosperous trading day. All right, let me go ahead and see here 1 second. Yes, indeed. Got people already in the chat room. Good evening, Astrid. Adam Willis. All right, sounding good. Thank you. Trading Jedi. Tim Green. Need a Life Soon. Who else is in here? Johnny Get Down. Bad Scientist. What's going on, Bill Betts? Chase 5326. Jay Bino. Adam Willis. I saw Bad Scientist in the building first. Mr. JRH. Mr. JRH, I think it's been a minute since I've seen you, man. Otis McCleveland, hello. Ken Jensen. Miss Harden, what's good? Lewis Rod. Metatron. Max Trader, thank you for those messages. Q-Tech. Life 4A TV. Kenny Nicholas. Or Nichols. I always mess up your name. What's going on, Ricky? All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you for joining us. We're going to continue to look at stocks that are shaping up for the week. Appreciate you guys for joining me. This is episode, I think, it's actually 150. I don't think I changed it, unless it is 149, but I'm thinking it might be 150. Anyway, let's go ahead and let me get the song off here, and I appreciate you guys for joining me. And we had a lot of stocks we've talked about recently continue their prosperous momentum. And one of them is already on the screen, and that's CBR, man. CBR is a stock that I know Anthony called up about. And Anthony, if you're watching, let me know, man. I remember you saying you were still in this. The stock, although it settled for an 8% gain, you actually got as high as, I want to say 13 cents for the day. And for a stock that opened up at 33 cents, a share to go as high as 45 cents. And again, it had a very strong open. All right, no gap up opening, just, really strong opening, as you can see there here on the 5-minute chart. I mean, this was just a beautiful chart for most of the day until you got to the afternoon and you had some selling there, some profit taking there from people in the morning. All right, 33-cent stock, man, going up 13 cents. That's a huge, huge deal. Huge deal. So shout out to some people who got in on that. I did see a couple people post some gains on CBR on Twitter. So shout out to the people who got into that. All right. Let me see here. What's going on, Q DeMayo? I also saw a lot of people being excited about what's going on in GIGL. I mean, this is We've had several different stocks that have impressed me over the last week and a half. One of them is POTN and then GIGL. When the promoter himself called in and said, I think it's a wrap and it's done. He posted on Twitter to take profits. I think this was, almost 4 days ago now. And sure enough, the stock keeps going up. And he's out of the loop. He don't even know what's going on, I don't think. Now he's moving to something else. And Penny Hat, I don't think Penny Hat's in the building. I follow him on Twitter. But I last time I checked his Twitter, he was on to something else. He's been on to something else. Yeah, Astrid, I am live. I am live, Astrid. All right. What's going on, SC Trucker? Mylon Davis. Fried Kamichi, what's going on? All right, so again, phone lines are open. I'd love to know what you guys and other people would love to know what you guys are trading. 305-600-2896. Let me see here. Let me open up my Skype. That'd probably be a good idea, right? All right, let me get my Skype opened up here. Some of you guys are probably already calling. All right, so okay, so Skype is up and running. Ready to receive calls. All right. GIGL up 28% for the day as well. Another stock that we've talked about here that got quiet for a day or two, but it's got an incredible trend. It got quiet for a day or two. That's why I noticed nobody brought it up. Is DTII. DTII today with a triple-digit gain day. Triple-digit gain day. I mean, you can't get better than that, folks. You can't get better than that. And this is a situation where that stock really needed it. As you can see here, this is the hourly chart, so every bar is 1 hour. You can see here for the last, almost for the last week. Last week, not including the weekends, of course. Very negative sentiment had came into the stock after a recent run. So DTII had did some incredible things over the course, if you guys remember, from the 15th to about the 20th. But sure enough, today I think, got to that bottom of that Bollinger Band, as you can see here on this hourly chart, got to the bottom of that Bollinger Band. You are also one of the RSI play. And, all the buyers, time just kind of came right. And the stock just launched off that. What was that? 0.005? Actually, it opened up at 0.007. Okay, you actually were below that yesterday. Now let's go back to the daily chart for a better representation here. And as you can see here, multiple days of red in the stock. And sure enough, even on the daily chart, you didn't get that low on the RSI. You actually got to as low as about 40, 45. All right. So we'll see what happens with this. But yeah, very impressive day in DTII. All right. Some people were saying, what is that? USRM? USRM continuing its gains. USRM now, we've talked about this stock, now almost 4 days in a row with everyone saying, what's the high? What's the high? What's the high? Right now, just keep enjoying it. Although it cooled down. Yes, you did. You had another day where, you had another long-ass wick where the day's trading range got really high and then pulled back again. I know that's frustrating. All right, especially if you're not, at a point where you're able to really understand how to catch those highs. It's incredibly frustrating. Okay. Here's USRM with the open. You had a low open because if you remember on USRM, you had the sell off yesterday in the day. All right, toward the close. You opened up, people buying those cheap shares. All right, some accumulation, but eventually some heavy profit taking there, with probably some investors who wanted to get out yesterday but were caught off guard. And sure enough, they sold. You had the stock catch itself at the 200-day moving average and is using that as support. All right, so we're seeing these higher highs coming in USRM. And the stock is using it as support right now, and it's doing a good job of it. What's going on, Henry Ramos? It's doing a very good job of it. Okay. But I know it is frustrating for anybody who kind of bought in there at the low for it to go back and retouch that. Less than, 3.5 hours later? That's got to be, pretty frustrating. Okay. Let's go to TXTM. I did see somebody bring up TXTM in the chat room. Oh, that's the other TXTM. Let me see here. Nobody's trading in France. Up 10%. TXTM. I'd like to see a really strong breakout like we saw back here a couple of days ago in TXTM. The stock started running and cooled off, but I'd love to see that breakout again from its week, about a week ago. What's going on, Ryan? Gets it? Hey, it's been a minute since you called in with some stocks, man. PLSB, who's bringing that up? All right, Astrid, I see you talking about it. Astrid's been on a hot streak here recently. So everything she's bringing up, I got to look at it because, she's got the golden touch right now. So I got to bring it up. Yes, every shot going through, man. Pulse Beverage, PLSB, down 15% right now. Down 15% right now, which reminds me of a stock like MMEX, which is the one I played today. If you guys remember or who follow my Twitter account, Twitter at Free Stock Pick. After the show, I saw what had happened yesterday in the stock, and I said, man, this with the news of the company going current, which it went current today. What's going on, Jay Young album? All right, this is a buy. This is a buy in the morning. MMEX. Should have been more clear on that, but MMEX was definitely the buy based on the news of the stock going current today. And sure enough, I got into this, and I'm holding, seeing what's going to happen moving forward here in MMEX. I'm looking for a retest of that high. Another stock I wanted to bring up that a lot of people, again, weren't sure about, and I made myself even had gotten into a little bit early, was Hemp, HEMP. I knew the turnaround was coming. I was just wondering when. All right, another lower RSI play in Hemp, and sure enough, we got the day we needed today in Hemp. So I'm in profitability for once in Hemp, and hopefully my goal is 5 cents. I'm willing to be in it for some time to see what happens. We're still well below 50 on the RSI. We'll see what happens. All right. Yes, indeed. Oh man, I haven't even gotten to Dries yet, and I know there are some people here in this chat room that owe me an apology. When we had a gentleman call up here, he said he had $5,000 in Dries. Okay. And people in the chat room were bashing me. Hey, man, tell him to sell. He's going to lose all his money. Oh, blah, blah, blah. But, I saw bad scientists say, hey, look, you can't discount stocks, that people love to buy. I saw him post that up on Twitter, and guess what? People love to buy Dries. Yes, it had been going poorly for some time, but people love to buy that stock. They love buying that stock, man. When we talked to him, he was at $1.40. I said, hey, let your low be $1.26. If it cracks $1.26, sell. And guess what? He's up. He's up now. So if you were that guy with the 5K, please call me back. 614, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Sal? K Harvey here.
Hey, K Harvey, what's good, man?
How you doing, bro?
Doing good.
This is about patience. Patience. So last week, I think his name is Matt Science, the guy that you have talked sometimes about some of his picks or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And the stock that I'm referring to is that he gave us a stock last week. He said this is something for that you could just get into while you're learning. You know what I mean? You don't have to push it real hard or what have you. And I dropped $350 in it. It was VTNL.
VTNL. Vet Online Supply. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my research, and then the next day we started talking about volume.
Damn, man.
And last week it was only 183 volume, and I was like, that's not enough volume. I'm gonna just go ahead and continue to move forward to something a little bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
So I sell the stock on Monday, looking for more volume. The only good thing is the money that I took out of this stock, I put in the USRM just to get a text and find out that thing shoots up 8 cents today.
Damn. Shit, man.
And we spoke about this last Wednesday because the next day I dropped $350 in this. So again, Sal, just like last year, for everybody's listening, we got to work on our patience.
Yeah, really. Man, this is just Yeah, that's crazy, man. You know, and VTNL. I mean, this is a stock that is 164. Am I reading that right? 164% day.
Yeah, and it was so crazy because last week when I got into it, and it was what's his name? Is it Matt Scientist or the guy that comes with the 4x8 expert? I forget his name. But
Yeah. Now I would say this was hard to. I mean, I don't know. This was kind of hard to predict though. Although you did have several days of support here in this day. Oh, let me see. Let me go to the daily chart and see if we could.
The fundamentals on this thing was crazy. I mean, it had all the right. Everything was right. It's just except for the volume.
Man,
and that's the only reason I got out.
I'm curious why you got out because I'm looking at the daily chart and I'm seeing it looks. I mean, this is an indication to stay.
Like last week when I got in, it was like the volume was only 183, and then for 2 days straight, it didn't even trade. I mean, they didn't do anything.
I see some gaps here.
And then like on Friday, it did a little something, and I never lost any money. In fact, when I got out, I got out at coming out. I bought in at 5.1, and I got out at like 5.4 something. So I made like $18. But my whole thing was the next day on the show we were talking about getting to volume stop. So I was just like, my money was stuck. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let me just go ahead. As soon as it comes back on board, I'm gonna get it the hell out of there and move on to something else, which just happened to be USRM. So that was the backdrop on that, so I'm not totally upset, even though I'm still kind of going like nuts a little bit because lo and behold, today I get a text and the thing shoots up.
So, yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. And I mean, this thing is, I guess you couldn't predict it, but I do see the last couple, candlesticks were actually indications that you might want to stay, although, you couldn't have predicted that volume in that stock today. But I'm curious. You said you were looking at USRM, K Harvey, but what other stocks are you looking at right now?
Well, I'm gonna just put it out there. I got in on DTII only because it was in the chat room. Yeah. And I got in at $1. Yeah. And the thing started going down, and I'm like, okay, well, I had my little 10% thing, and I sold when I shouldn't have because it rebounded right back at 1.4. So but other than that, let me see. What am I looking at? Let me see some plays here. I still have my eyes on. I'm not sure about what's going to happen with what is that? HXTD, I think.
HXTD.
I don't have my sheet with me.
Oh, you probably talking about TXTD, maybe? Oh no.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I was waiting for that one to drop and try to get in on the low.
TXTM.
And then thing drops on the low towards the closing. So what I wanted to do in the morning time, I did it in the afternoon. It was crazy.
Yeah, TXTM had a little 10% gain, so you're still funneling. So I'd love to see a TXTM actually break out of this. It's been funneling since that high back in January, and it hasn't really done much in between 0014 and 0022. I'm not going to count 0035 because that's kind of it was an unusual situation. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see TXTM finally break out. Although I think if you were looking to take a position and willing to risk, I think the upside could happen. But right now you're just funneling in TXTM. Not bad, man.
Just to let you know, I heard Mr. Lloyd and a few people in the chat room. So instead of waiting for the FDA to make his play, I'm still up about $300 in USRM. So tomorrow, I'll go ahead and sell half of my position, and recoup my the money that I actually put in there, and then I just let the rest ride right on the street. You know what I'm saying? So because everything in there is just totally profit. So. Just to let you know, Si, you're very important. I love what you do. I appreciate all the advice and everything that we get. And I don't even watch TV. I was about to watch Empire. As soon as you think clanked on, I said, forget that. I'm about making money.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, K Harvey. Yes, indeed. So K Harvey calling up, and appreciate that, man. Yeah, I think people get it. You can watch that on demand now. And again, I was talking yesterday about the Fire Stick stuff, man. Those shows come like 10 minutes after they broadcast. I can see them on the Fire Stick. There's a new show out on Fox called Shots Fired. I missed I missed it because I don't remember what I was doing. I was doing something else. I missed it that day. And literally, 10 minutes after it broadcast, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to wait till the next day. I see it on the Cody stick. 601. You're on the air. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Sal? This is John from Florida.
Hey, John. What's up, man?
Not too much. I just wanted to talk about TXTM a little bit. I had called in a few shows back about it when they released the news on Twitter. And that next week, on the 27th, they did announce that they had acquired Cannabis Biosciences, and that is what accounted for their spike up to that 0.34.
Yeah.
I was actually up in that stock over $1,000.
Damn.
And yeah, I was up on that stock over $1,000. But I've been up on that stock before, big. And I guess it just, kind of me still being a new trader, but I didn't take those profits. I did not take those profits.
Now I'm curious. I mean, I'm curious to know why, because I know you've been trading for a minute, so I got to know why you were up $1,000 on an OTC stock, and decided to just to let it go.
Well, I honestly, I thought the stock would go higher than that.
Yeah,
I thought it would at least get up to about 50 something.
Sure.
It got up, the highest it got up to was about the 0034, and I'm thinking for sure it's going higher. But the only thing about this stock is, even though it's high float, it has a lot of eyes on it, and it also has a lot of bag holders from that first run it did. So it was just a lot of people trying to get out of it. They were just looking to get out of it, and so you had a lot of selling off. I mean, people just got scared. I mean, it could have run higher, but I mean, it was just too many people trying to sell.
Yeah.
So they have announced that the CEO did a video today letting the shareholders know that in 45 days they were going to complete some type of research they're doing with the cannabis, and also with some of the innovation with the green tea, and clinical trials are going to start in 45 days.
They got a YouTube page or something that he put out at?
It was put over YouTube, but it's you can see it on the Twitter page.
Okay.
Where they had the video up on the Twitter page, so anybody can go and see it.
Okay.
So so now honestly would be a good time. Well, I mean, you do your research, but if anybody was interested in this particular stock, I'm thinking, I'm not gonna say to get into it because I don't want to mislead anybody, but it's at a low point right now, and within those 45 days, I'm looking for it to slowly tick its way up. It's going to have some fluctuation here and there. So that's just the personality of this stock. It just fluctuates because it's just, it's high flow. You got a lot of people interested in it, a lot of sellers. But yeah, the next 45 days, I look forward to that'll be around May 15th, somewhere along up in that area.
Okay.
I look forward to have a serious jump up around that time. And between that time, I look forward to kind of tick its way up. So now around, I think 00015 is pretty much the bottom. That's pretty much the bottom. So that's a good entry point for anybody. But yeah, this stock here is it's kind of a long hold for those 45 days. But if you're patient, you definitely can make some gains. So like I said, I've been up in this stock. I've been up $1,000 twice in this stock, but like I said,
damn.
I mean, I should, in hindsight, obviously I should have taken. It, but I kind of believe in this stock because I see every stock seems to have a personality, and this stock's personality is like I told you before when I called in, it goes up, and as sure as it goes up, it'll come back down. But I just wasn't sure how high it was going to go up.
Right.
I thought I was going to retest that 0050 like it did earlier. I think was it back in January, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I was going to go back up that high, but then people just started selling off. But yeah, let's just keep your eye out for TXTM. And another stock I wanted to bring everybody's attention is actually a promoted stock by Penny Stock One. It's actually being promoted by several different promoters. It's called, the ticker is DCSA. That's DeCasa Incorporation. what they do is they sell hot sauce, they sell snacks, they sell coffee, and they have 10 storefronts that they have up right now. With 5 coming. With one of them being, they just announced being a coffee shop that they just opened up. So it looks like it's up 28% on the day, and I'm thinking with so many promoters promoting it and it's going on news, I'm thinking maybe it can run tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay.
So yeah, I just wanted to throw that one out there, and yeah, that's it.
All right, man.
Thanks for taking my call.
No problem. We'll be watching. Appreciate it. Thank you for the call.
Okay.
All right. So there's John from Florida, man. I appreciate it. We'll be watching. I laughed at that other stock, that BLTO or whatever it was, Bingo Nation. I laughed at that stock when, that came up. So some of these promoters, they're knocking it out the park. BLTO, we talked about it here. Hey, it was only $1. We talked about it at $1 right here. I remember it. I got it still in my notes right here at $1 a share. And sure enough, it's at $1.72 now on decent volume. So these promoted stocks, these promoters are actually doing the thing now. And that's good. All right. It's good to see other promoters actually making some people some money. Besides themselves and the people who in it. PN, you said you're putting a Patriot National at $2.98. Okay. Patriot National, here's the 10-minute chart. You had a very impressive morning before some heavy profit taking here in Patriot National. Insurance company, $70 million market cap. Not bad. Definitely a penny stock. I love the way it moves here, too. You broke out of a recent high, but it just couldn't hold it. Just couldn't hold it in PN. Nice ticker. You can play this on any little on Robinhood. So for those of you guys who are looking at a stock, I love the way it moves in the morning. What's going on? You're on the air.
What's up, brother? What's up? How you doing, Sally? It's Arnold.
Hey, Arnold. What's up, man? What you got for us today?
No, I'm just calling just to talk shit a little bit. You know what I mean?
Oh, what you want to talk about?
Dries. I remember when I called in and I was down $1.26.
Yeah.
People were laughing at me. They told me I should sell it.
I'm
What's
glad.
going on right now?
I'm glad you called, man, because I just talked about you earlier to start the show, and you got some people who owe you and me an apology because
I hope
you're sitting up. I don't know if you're completely in profit, right? But you're definitely higher than what you were.
No, well, what happens is that I first bought it at 183.
Okay.
And then I bought it at 178.
Okay.
So right now I think it's at 182. So I'm kind of even right now. But like I always said, people, it's time to put money into Dries because I believe it's gonna go at least at 6, 7. I'm not thinking that. I'm telling you. I'm not saying that it's gonna go back at 500 like last year when Donald Trump got elected.
Sure.
But I'm telling you that $6, guys, believe me. I'm telling you. I'm kind of drunk right now because I'm just feeling myself, But, no, man, I'm telling you guys, I really believe, and I've been reading about it. But like you said, you can't really always believe all what promoters said and in their articles and all that, but I've made my own research, and I'm telling you guys, when it was close to 130, everybody was doubting me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Look where we are right now.
Yeah.
Look where we are right now, So I just wanted to call just to, flex a little bit on some people who hated on us.
Yeah.
And on that note, my boy Sal, just keep up the good work. I don't always catch your shows, but when I do, like right now, I listen and just thanks for the good advice, but I just wanted to flex on the haters,
Yes, indeed, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the call, man.
Thanks, brother.
Yes, indeed, man. So shout out to him, man, for making, because a lot of people, they've called up and they've asked me for advice, and I've told them to buy or told them to sell, and they go out and do the other way, and unfortunately it doesn't work out. So shout out to him for actually following through, and now he's sitting, pretty. He's sitting pretty, and in fact, I believe the stock is up after hours. So I'm really excited to see what his morning is going to look like. 781, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Sal? Robert here.
Hey, what's going on, Robert?
Good, man. Check out PFMT for you.
PFNT.
Sorry.
Oh, PFMT. Okay, Performance Financial Corp. Okay, tell us a little bit of how this came up on your radar here. I see you had a really good day.
All right, so this one is simple. It's a top 10% gainer on the NASDAQ. And clearly on the daily chart, you got bullish chart to work with. So you want to be looking for this one. Yeah, you want to be buying strategically in on this one and holding so long as it stays above $2.
Yeah, this one is hot, man, at 241. You're up almost 31% today alone on the NASDAQ. And yeah, I mean, this has had, I mean, what a daily chart, man. I mean, really, really aggressive several days, week and a half, really, in this stock. But you think that there's more gains to go across here? Because I do see here it's peaking on this daily chart right at the 200 moving average, and very well could use that as as support and go higher.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. Just stay above $2 basically, and you can hold this one. And then the next one you should check out is TYHT.
Okay, TYHT. All right, now why? Oh no, that's another one too. With 3 successive, very, very good days on the market.
These stocks are bullish, and you need to just play them carefully and strategically. And this one you got to hold above 4.25, 4.25, and that's bullish above that level.
Okay. Shinetco, all right, on NASDAQ. Also, this is one of you guys who love Robinhood. These are your Robinhood plays here. They just gave you
yep, that's it.
TYHT.
That's my game.
And give me the first one.
The first one there was okay, so
PFMT,
PFMT.
Right? All right, yeah, PFMT. There you go. So okay, all right.
That's what I got for you.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the call.
Take care. Bye.
All right, so nice plays, both of them. Real nice plays. Both of them. All right, don't let the volume scare you out there on that T1. All right, on either of them, they both have relatively, some people might say low, but I like the catalyst, especially on PFMT, where the stock, basically closed at the high of the day, and now sitting right on top of the 200-day moving average. I love that. 704, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, good evening. It's Astrid.
Hey, Astrid, what you got for us today?
Oh, okay. I don't cuss, and BMXC almost made me cuss today.
Yeah.
They came out with news.
Okay.
Okay, it's the pre-order news.
Yeah.
But now they're saying that they're going to do the pre-orders on April 4th, but it's going to be on their website. And the Amazon date now is, we don't know. So they're dangling that carrot.
Wow.
And the thing went down almost 23% today.
Yeah.
It plummeted. So I don't understand how can news come out and it just go down like that.
Well, it looks like that wasn't the news investors wanted to hear,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
well, right. It wasn't, but so now I don't know what to do.
Well, I mean, yeah, this is definitely what investors did not want to hear. I mean, you already had yesterday wasn't the greatest day in the stock either, but today was just, added more pain to it. Now you're down 22%. Now for an OTC stock, that's not too bad. I mean, you're still at 1 cent, at 0.0185. So we do know great news can definitely change this situation around in a few moments, but. When will that moment come? I believe that moment's going to come when you said, the company's finally going to go, live on Amazon. So,
right.
Are you willing to wait until then now?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until April 4th because that's what I intended to do anyway.
Right.
Because that's when they're going to the pre-order. That's the pre-order date. So I'm going to see what it does because that's next week? What's April 4th? I don't even know.
Yeah, so April 4th is next week, Tuesday.
Okay, so I can wait another week because that was my intention anyway, and I'm going to then proceed accordingly.
Okay.
But that was a bit of a shock to me. And GIGL, so they had awesome news today. Tia Mori has joined. She's a celebrity endorser. Do you know Tia from
Wow, are you serious? Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's
Oh
a
my
big
gosh.
news because I
That's
believe
huge.
if in fact I think isn't she the one who just had the baby, or I think they both have kids, but that's huge news.
She had the baby first.
Okay.
She had the baby first. She's not the one on the talk show, but she has her own cooking show, and she's all about organic and healthy eating. So now I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's a good entry point, because I can't afford to get in. It went up to 25 cents today.
Yeah. Wow.
So now I'm just trying to figure out, okay, where's a good entry point to get in on this, because I want a piece of the pie. I mean, the more celebrities join in, this is just going to keep going up.
Well, it's good because it plays into the fact that, well, it's a great business opportunity for them, but at the same time, it's got a good message behind the company.
Exactly.
You can't,
right.
Be against a facility for kids that also has good food and play space
right.
in this day and age when so many parents can't get their kids off the electronics. So,
and their food is organic.
Right.
And I'm a mom with 2 kids, so this speaks to me. We're always looking to, give them the healthiest things possible. I don't like taking my kids to Chuck E. Cheese, but I'd take them to some place like GIGL.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat, So I'm looking at that, and then I'm looking at TXTM. I've heard you guys talk a lot about that. Yeah. So I was just looking at my watch list today. I have hemp on my watch list as well, and some other things. But USRM, I decided to hold a little bit. It went down. I thought that I could maybe buy in on the dip this morning, but as soon as it opened, it spiked up.
Yeah.
And then I just couldn't do the double Dutch thing with trying to figure out, where to get in. So I said, I'm just going to hold it and just let it ride. I'm up and just, and just go from there. So.
All right. We'll keep watching.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Astrid, for the call.
Okay. Yep. Bye.
All right. Bye. I think Astrid, she's been absolutely right. And many of you have been right as well on GIGL. I mean, that's, I don't want to beat the stock to death here, but I'm just so impressed with what the stock has been doing over the last several days. I mean, let's look at this chart here, man. This is a stock that, February, I mean, we can, how far do you want to go back? Let's just go back to December. This was 0005. This was a 0005 stock in December. 0005. This when we talk about your ability to make money in penny stocks and a lot of those are shit companies, and I don't care. I don't really care. Do people want to buy the stock? Can it get more valuable? And can I, make money? And when I look at GIGL and I'm looking at a stock that was 0005, when was this? 0005. Actually, let's see. No, actually 00010. What day is that? December 22nd? Oh, there was the low on that. Actually, let's just do 000 or 0016. Actually, I think it's 0016. On December 22nd. And now we're trading at 25 cents a share. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a gain of 11,263%. And it's only been 3 months. Three and a half, whatever. I want to know anybody right now who trades NASDAQ or NYSE stocks who got that kind of profit. I want to know. Joshua, you said it's at 0018? That's ridiculous. Mag just said it. Appreciate it, Mag. $300. $300 is now worth $26,000. Don't tell me these $300, $200 positions don't matter. And then we had on CNBC today, I watched a little bit because I watch it during the day. And we have some companies who are now switching 100% to black boxes. So if you thought you didn't have an edge on the NASDAQ and NYSE before, now you definitely don't have an edge. Where you have banks who had yet switched over to black boxes, right? And people actually trading for them. Now it's completely computerized. So now you definitely don't have an edge. I'd rather trade against my fellow man. I'd rather trade against his psychology, right? Because I know the big banks aren't going to come here. They're not going to come here. Of course, we can always have our long-term, the Amazons, Facebooks of the world long-term. But I like this. GIGL, man, very impressive. And John from Florida, I can see now why you didn't sell that $1,000. And I was kind of just getting on to you for that because of the show. But I know why you didn't cash in that $1,000, because you saw something like this possibly happening. And I don't blame you. Why wait out for $1,000 when, hell, you can get $10,000, $20,000. And as we just showed you in GIGL, a $300 investment turned into $26,000 today. 919, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, Sal, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, man?
How are you?
Doing good, man. What you got for us today, Bats?
Yeah, so Dries, I think we talked a little bit about Dries. Dries is definitely one to get into. This thing isn't going anywhere in terms of on the downside, but it's going places to the upside. So I'm actually in Dries.
Okay.
Once again, it falls under my low-risk type of plays, low-risk, high return. So no need to beat a dead horse. We've already talked about Dries, and I'm loving Dries. The other one I'm in is BSTG.
Okay. And Mag, yes, that's exactly what I mean. The algorithms instead of humans. But, yeah, Bats, can I get that ticker one more time?
BSTG.
Okay, Biostage.
Biostage,
okay.
Yeah. So once again, that one, low risk play, looks like it's coming up from the bottoms, had a good 2-day run.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely into that one. I got into that one after hours at 39 cents. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, and I know you've been watching this for a couple of days now, too. It's been trending there after that drop-off, as we can see here, back in February, actually, and it hadn't really, cleared the gap. So you're looking at as, a stock that's just going to cover the gap here? Is your out like 51 cents or so?
Yeah, fill the gap, and which happens to also coincide with the 50-day moving average. Roundabout there, that price point, 48, 49, 50-ish, around there. So hopefully tomorrow it can break the upper Bollinger Band. That would really be great. But yeah, let's see. So that would be a nice 11 cent gain.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
Yeah. The other one I'm looking at also is FNCX. F as in Frank, N as in naughty, C as in cart, and X as in xylophone, FNCX. Okay. And this also has that same type of pattern like Dries is looking like right now, coming from the bottom. You see kind of like a stepwise increase in volume as well. So I like that. Yesterday's volume 300,000.
Yeah, this is a stock that's really been beat up here on the RSI too, Bats, man. Very low, very very low on the RSI here.
Extremely. Yeah, and then talked about hemp. I believe I talked about hemp yesterday. So hemp is definitely one to watch. It had a very good day today. Another one that also has OTC that has a nice pattern setting up. I know you don't like the Q stocks, but BTUUQ.
Yeah, we watched this, man. I actually, you know what? We talked about, I don't know if it was today or Friday, but BTUUQ, I do like the way that's been setting up here multiple days, man. But
Right.
again, it's not the cheapest, Q stock available, but right now it is by far the best performing, and it's looking really good right now. Are you concerned at all that we're now approaching the top of the RSI here, or you believe the gains will continue to come?
No, I think the pattern looks really good, and in fact today it even put in a stronger volume. So as long as the interest is still there, I think it still has room to go. Right now the 200-day moving average is at about 388.
Yeah.
So I can see this at least trying to go for that 200-day moving average. It did get to as high as 375,
Yeah.
and then came back down. I guess the bears pushed it down a little bit, but no, I think there still has room to go. And like you said, the chart, the way it's set up here, it's just, I can see even higher volume tomorrow, but we'd have to wait and see on that.
Okay.
And then the others you mentioned, DTII is looking good, even though today it went up 118%.
Yeah.
It's still coming from the bottom of that chart.
Very
and
bottom.
You're talking about, where it closed at now, 0.014. It still needs to get to that top Bollinger Band at 0.03. So
wow, and you think it could very well do that? You think it could very well go to 3 cents a share?
Yes, there's a lot of resistance there, so that's where I'm seeing that going in the next couple of days or so.
Okay.
Should be able to get there. And then there's TRTC, another good chart set up there, TRTC. Just broke the upper Bollinger Band today as well as the 50-day moving average. And so that's one to watch as well. And then GIGL, we've already discussed that. So, yep, those are my picks for today. Not too many, but I would watch, in particular Hemp, and even MJNA looks good on the marijuana side.
Yeah, let me take a look real quick at MJNA. It's been a minute since I looked at that, and yeah, MJNA now at 12. And again, this was a stock that you really, when it was selling off there, and that 10 cent, 12 cents, that 10 cent play there, what was that, the 13th? About a week and a half ago now. Yeah, you had to buy that, and sure enough, it's done very well since then so far.
Yep. So, yes, that's all I have for you guys. Keep up the good work, Sal. Thanks
Appreciate
a lot.
it, man. Thank you. So, Bad Scientists with some pretty good picks, man. With some pretty good picks there with Bad Scientists. Not bad. Let me see here. CDII. I see somebody in the chat room. All right, so this one's really beat up here. What's that? Something like a gang shooting or something? What's going on over here? 0058 down 8%. So not bad, guys. Somebody bringing up Can. 7%, 242. What's going on, Master 82? Not bad here, man. 242, up 17 cents. Again, this is a stock that's got really, really good share structure when we talk about CANN. Who said that? Yeah, Eric. Let me see. Who said that? Liga? TXTM, but not a lot of... Yeah, TXTM, I don't know, man. I mean, they don't have, obviously, as good of a story as GIGL. But, yeah, I did see they signed Tia Mori. We had Astrid call up and talk about that. Eric Maxwell bringing up AMFE. Ooh, AMFE. Here's the hourly. Nice, very impressive over the last couple of days. What does the daily chart look like? AMFE. And again, this is one of those stocks that kind of gets lost in the loop. Because if I'm correct, last time I read AMFE, this is an actual business with some real operations here. If I'm correct, a real industrial machinery business. AMFE. It's been a while though. I might actually have them confused with another company. AMFE had a beautiful run here at the beginning of the year, December into January, from 0077s, actually a lot lower than that. We go back a little bit too far, but you found a lot of support here at 0.014, and it's bounced off that since, since late February. Now you're sitting at 0.0287. Not bad on AMFE. Yeah, very nice return. I like that. Very nice return today alone. You got actually up to 25%. Yeah, almost 25%. AMMX is the stock I'm remembering about. AMMX, which I do have a position in. I do have a position in this stock. This is a stock that they're based, if I'm correct, in California, and they rent out Caterpillar, tractors and heavy lifting equipment to construction companies and shit. And it's like, this is a real business. Like, they put up 1 or 2 million in revenue. AMMX. Yeah. Dom, no, I don't, man. Dom would say if I live in the hood. What's wrong with living in the hood, though? There's nothing wrong with living in the hood. Well, it depends on what hood, though. I mean, there are some bad hoods and there are some good hoods, too. And when people say hood, I say a hood as a predominantly black community. So a lot of people have anything when you say hood, it can mean it's a bad place. Liga assets, LIGA 0048. Again, this is another one that's, had a very, very good March. I don't know too much about this company. So if you know, let me know what's going on here. But yes, this has had a beautiful March. All right, here's another one very similar to TXTM, where you had a stock that was funneling in between a range for, almost 3 months, right? Very similar to TXTM, and that's why I believe TXTM could do something like this, where you have a stock that's kind of funneling in between the range, and then all of a sudden it pops out. Let's see if I can, TXTM. Let me see here. I just want to see if I can overlap TXTM. All right. So very similar setup where, let me see here. So this actually, TXTM did a run earlier, and I know it's probably throwing everybody's eyes off track here, but I just wanted to put that in there. So TXTM did a run earlier, but as you see, it's still funneling. Still funneling. All right, different businesses, but I just kind of wanted to show you how, after a situation like this where a stock is stuck in a range, it just takes a little bit of more buying momentum, as you can see here, justified by the volume. All right, much more volume coming into the stock in Liga, which has turned it and had allowed it to break out of that range. Yeah, definitely, Con. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Because I know, I remember living in New York, and a lot of people up there in Harlem and stuff, they would say barrio. And barrio is basically the same word as hood, right? $0.43 a share, ANTH. Okay. ANTH is another low RSI play. Who brought that up? Bose M. 43 cents a share. Oh, that's what's up, Con. ACOL 29%. All right, ACOL. Yeah, ACOL, if you guys remember, a lot of people had brought this up a day or two ago, and sure enough, you got that bullish confirmation today in ACOL. Whoa, that's a nice move by that stock. Range has actually got it to as high as 0.0243. And again, here's another situation where a stock that was stuck in a range, and all you needed was, some dedicated buying, and sure enough, you're out the range. And ACOL, again, this is another stock that did an incredible incredible late 2016 into 2017. If you guys remember, if you look back at some of the episodes in December, late December especially, ACOL was one of the best stocks we talked about. I know some of you guys made a lot of money in ACOL, watching that go up. Yeah, we just brought up ANTH. Is it up after hours? Let me know if it's up after hours or something. We'll put it back on there. Jones Energy. Again, this is kind of one of those small energy companies, oil and gas, that's just been, having its ass handed to them based on low commodity prices. Particularly, obviously, it's an oil and gas place, so lower crude prices. And we were talking about not too long ago crude. All right, we were talking crude at 53, 54 back in just February. If you go back to early February, crude was trading at $54 a barrel. Now we're at $49. And yeah, that kills companies like Jones Energy. All right, these small, oil and gas companies need higher commodity prices, need higher crude prices for them to make a profit. All right. They're not like the Shells of the world where they can sustain a year, 2 years, 10 years of low crude prices because most of them already get them at a huge discount. These companies, they've got a lot higher expenses, so they need higher commodity prices to make profit. So until we start seeing a real turnaround in the price of oil and gas, I don't know if I'd go into an oil and gas stock right now. 760, you're on the air. What's up?
What up, Sal? It's Trading Jedi, bro.
Hey, Trading Jedi. What's up, man?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. I haven't been playing as many straight equities lately. I've been messing around with new strategies and weekly options.
Okay.
So that's why I haven't called in a minute. But I was looking at a couple stocks today doing my scans. So on Monday, I had a nice scalp trade, so I've been kind of taking it easy since then. But there's a nice ticker that popped up on my radar. I don't know if you guys already talked about it today. It's a ticker symbol NADL, and it's a oil drilling company.
Now, why is this stock up? Now, why is this stock up? Because I just got done talking about it, and as I can see here, the stock has been being killed, obviously, on those low commodity prices. But yeah, huge boom today. What happened today that some of these oil drillers had a decent day?
Well, I think part of it from a broad market standpoint is, oil is having a hard time, and now it may be kind of settling, finding a bottom. So we got buyers coming back into oil stocks. But I think this is mainly a technical play because the float on this is under 7 million shares, and today, I believe we traded close to 3. I don't have the exact numbers, but I think close to 3 million shares, maybe over or under.
Mm-hmm.
So, whenever you see a company trading half the float or more in one day, even though it got stopped for the close, it got stopped at that 50-day moving average.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance that it might just straight leapfrog over it in the morning, watching the open. That's going to be your confirmation. Maybe buy the dip in the morning, and then that way you have low risk exposure if you're looking for a day trade, and if it keeps dipping past that initial dip, to get out.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's kind of what I did on Monday in GBR. I bought the dip in the morning. Man, I wish I had held that thing because that exploded. I made hundreds in seconds, and I just decided to sell because I didn't think it would continue through so hard.
Sure.
But yeah, that NADL is the one I'm going to be watching tomorrow morning for a morning kind of gap and go, or maybe a morning scalp situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But another ticker that I'm looking at too that I've been watching for a while is MySize, ticker symbol MYSZ. That's also another low float play, and I like the volatility. If you look at the chart, it just always moves up, down, up, down. And stocks like that, you can make money.
Trading Jen, I'm kind of lost you here. You said MYSD?
MYSZ.
Oh, SV. Okay. SV. Let me see here. And I don't know why I'm not finding it. NYSV?
SZ, like zero.
NYSZ. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Oh, okay. There we go. My size. All right.
For sure. Yeah, it's another cheap, like under $3 low float stock, and I just love all the volatility in it. If you look at the chart, it just swings up, swings down. I love those kinds of stocks because if you follow them for a little bit, you can kind of get a sense of when they're about to make another large size swing. And I'm just hoping this thing breaks above those resistance levels overhead, because if it does, it seems to be one of those plays that'll just keep going and going, just based on the share structure, the low flow. You know, that's what I love, those Robinhood low flow plays.
Yeah,
but,
and it's
yeah, those are the two tickers I'm watching tomorrow, man.
I like it, yeah, especially this MYSZ. You got a lot of support here already, so this is all about just buying. Plus, with this added volume, that's not bad, man. That's not bad at all.
For sure, bro. Yeah, and like I said, I haven't been playing as many straight options or straight equities lately. I've been playing options. So next week, I'm kind of going to be looking at more with that theme of energy companies. I'm going to be looking at calls for energy companies. Hopefully, like CHK dips a little bit tomorrow, so it brings down the implied volatility, so I can pick up some calls and then maybe sell them next week. I've been just experimenting with just selling options just on a way quicker time frame, playing the weeklies instead of the monthlies, and that's kind of where my head's been at, man. So,
yeah, it's been nice because it's a nice, because I play options on Mondays in particular because you got a lot of new capital coming in. But yeah, it's a great way to get income, you know, really quickly. You know what I'm saying? It's
exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the hard thing is with the options, you know, you really got to time your moves. You got to basically to really take advantage of it. You got to call the reversal points, whether it be intraday or on the daily, or else those can go against you so quickly. So that's what I've been mainly working on, is trying to find a way for the entry. But you know, I'm just kind of messing with this new strategy. If I pick up any tricks, I'll definitely call and let you guys know. Because, like I said, I'm messing with that pretty heavily right now. But anyway, yeah, man. Yeah, dude, let's just get paid, trade well, and make some money. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for the call, Trading Jedi 760. Always some good tickers, and that's why I always put them on our list. Both of the stocks he talked about, NADL, MYSZ. And by the way, this Cherokee Chesapeake Energy, you can play the stock on this one too as well. It's not ridiculously expensive. Obviously, the options are a little bit cheaper. You grab more shares, being that you buy an option. But you can play the stock on this too if you were looking for a safer way to play it. And CHK so far doing very, very well over the last couple of days. All right. Trump is still talking deregulation. So these legacy businesses are playing off that, I believe. And many of them too, as he said, could be oversold. And as we can see here in the RSI, many of them were oversold actually. And sure enough, you had the stock bounce these last several days, CHK. Okay. Famine 7-0, first penny stock was GIGL. Pressure from friends, you sold at 21. Is it a bad practice to jump back in now? That's the risk, man. That's the risk. Don Willis, you said, how do you judge companies that have bad reviews if they're a stop sign or a skull? Well, you got to know the difference. I mean, obviously, I would never buy a stock that had the skull. But the stop sign, you got to understand why the stop sign is there for. You know, are they late on a filing? What kind of filing is it? Are they still putting out news? All right, because you can get a company that has the stop sign, but it's still putting out news and, you know, putting out new information about what they're doing. For example, MMEX was in that situation before today. If you went to OTC markets and went to MMEX, you saw the stop sign, but that hadn't stopped any of the gains that the stock was making. So you're just going to have to judge, you know, the stock for its merits, you know. Yes, sir, 3 hooks. Let me see here. Somebody have told me, I see here in the chat room by Bats and some other people, that ANTH is up 15% after hours right now. Let me go ahead and pull up my equity feed here, and sure enough, yes, ANTH, I'm seeing it now at 49 cents a share, so exactly at 13.874. Change right now, that's the change, but right now, yes, it's at 49 cents a share on ANTH. So let's see if that's going to be our morning runner. if that's going to be our morning runner. You guys know there's no better time to get some quick gains than in the morning. And that was the situation with IMMU for multiple days, except today. Today you had a lot of hesitation in IMMY, and that looks like that maybe was the end. We'll see. We'll definitely see. The stock had just a crazy range today that caught a lot of people off guard, and that might have been the end of IMMY. Yeah. What's going on, Africa Emporium? Yeah, everybody press that like button. Thank you, Travis. Everybody press that like button. You guys know I appreciate it when you do that. Shout out to all the donators. I really, really appreciate that. Everybody who's been donating. All right. Appreciate that. I went out and I know some of you guys didn't think I needed the router, but I went out and got the new router anyway. And again, that was thanks to the people who donated. So if you donated recently in the last 30 days, 9 out of 10, it was your money that paid for that, and I'm appreciative. We had a great stream so far. All right, knock on wood, and this is when it starts fucking up. But yeah, I'm appreciative to you guys, man. Thank you for that. All right, BONT, Bonton Stores. All right, 10% so far. 10% so far. Gain on BONT. Let me see here. 79 cents a share was your high, and then you closed at 77. So Bonton, I don't know, like retail is struggling right now. In fact, if you read a lot about, you know, what's going on in retail right now, the big problem they're having is people don't want to leave their house. All right. Like the big thing when I was growing up is like your mom would drop you at the mall on Saturday morning with you and a couple of friends, and you guys would be there like all damn day, you know, unless you were, you know, doing something else. But that was pretty much what you would do. Now kids don't even hang out at the mall. I don't really see teens at the mall like that. I still see once in a while, but not as heavy as I know my generation used to be at the mall. But obviously we're not playing it that, you know, that long. But so far, these last couple of days, the stock here, you know, has gone oversold and now is creeping back up into those RSI levels. But this was a pure RSI play here on BONT. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, retail is struggling. Yeah, retail is struggling. If you're looking for, like we just got done talking to Trading Jedi, options, you know, looking to go take a put, you know, there are a lot of retailers out there that are struggling. What was that stock we covered a couple months ago? What was that, New York and Company? How are they doing? I remember when we talked about them. New York and Company, what was that, NWY? Yeah, there it is. See? NWY retail just getting killed, man. Just getting killed recently in retail overall. You know, it just hasn't been doing so well. But retail recently, you had a couple companies come out and say they're starting to close out stores, and retail as a sector is starting to lose. And it's affecting some other stocks as well. Sears, yeah. Sears came out about a week ago, said they're closing stores. JCPenney said they're closing stores. I'm actually surprised JCPenney is still in business. Let me see if that bleeding has affected them too as well. As you can see, yeah, here's JCPenney. Yeah, in 2017 has not been very favorable to JCPenney, down from almost $4 over the course of several months since December here. And JCPenney, I'm surprised they're still in business. Macy's, H.H. Gregg, yeah, they're pretty much gone. BBY is going up. What was BBY? Best Buy, okay. Oh, yeah, Best Buy. Yeah, Best Buy's been doing their thing. And what I like about Best Buy is so far, I think they price match too. I do think they price match Amazon. I believe they price match Amazon. All right. SHLD. And that. Speaking of price matching, I fucked up because if you guys remember, it was several years ago when like the PS4 just came out. There was this dummy website that was selling PS4s for like $199 or some shit like that. It was something ridiculously cheap than what PS4 was going. And a friend of mine approached me. He's like, "Hey man, let's go to Best Buy. No, let's go to Walmart. Excuse me. Let's go to Walmart. Let's use this website and let's get price match." And a ton of people were doing this. All right. It worked for like 2 days, right? It was like 2 or 3 days. It was all over Twitter and Instagram at the time. It was working for like 2 or 3 days. Somebody set up this really like fancy looking website. It was like a store and all that. So a bunch of people were going into Walmart and getting, these PS4s for like half off and shit. Eventually Walmart corporate found out about it, and they told all their stores to stop accepting that website and stop price matching it. But yeah, there were guys who were walking into Walmart and getting PS4s for like $200 when it was going for, I think, $499 at the time, or something ridiculous. Yeah, it was just some dummy website, just a dummy, fake ass, that looked really professional though. I mean, it looked like what Circuit City or something like that, used to look like. CIE, Cobalt Energy. Here's, again, very similar situation that we've seen in a lot of energy companies. All right. Very, very low, and all of a sudden you're seeing some stability coming into oil, as Trading Jedi mentioned. And CIE, wow, CIE at 48 cents a share here might be something you might want to look at here. I see that upper band is at 61 cents a share. Bands are getting a little closer here. You might get there. All right, at 48 cents a share, this might be a stock you might want to ride. Buy a cheap PS4 from Craigslist, then buy a new one from Walmart. Replace the new one with the old one. Return it to Walmart. Get your money. Return it to Walmart. Get your money back. You know what though, Dom? That actually would work because the people at Walmart don't really care enough to look at the PS4. 832, what's up?
Hey, what'd you say, Sal?
You said, what did I say?
Hey, what's up, Sal?
Oh, okay. Doing? What's up, man? Who am I talking to?
Oh, this is Jason, man. It's just trucker talk, man.
Oh, okay. What's up, man?
On the radio.
What's up?
Oh, not too much, man. Call in about I've been following you since last summer, man.
Okay.
I love what you do, man. I appreciate what you do, man. You're doing real well, man.
Appreciate it.
I called in about Liga, LIGA.
Okay.
Wanted to see what you feel about it, man. I got in today around 0.0077. And
0.0077. Are we talking about the right stock? LIGA?
0077.
Oh, because right now I'm looking at it at 0045. At Liga?
Yeah, Liga. LIGA.
Let me see here. Is it just me? I swear it's at 0045 right now.
Is it?
Yeah, 0045. LIGA.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, I got the wrong stock. That's right.
Okay.
I got in 0033.
Okay, 0033 LIGA. So far, yeah, man. I mean, you're doing right. Let me see here. If I put the Bad Scientist 4 and 8 back on there, it says stay in the trade, man. And so far here on the daily chart, you're doing well, man. You're doing well now. So
I know you know how to look up there. Are they in compliance? And what do you think about long term?
Well, you can never predict the future, and right now I'm looking at it. It's an OTC pink stock, so yes, they are in compliance. They are current. You've had above average volume recently in the stock, as you can see here. There's a lot of a lot of activity been going on. So you're a little hot, but for the most part, that just shows that you got a lot of buying in the stock, and that's fine. That's fine with that. So you're on the daily chart, sitting at the top of the RSI. So some people may look at this now that the stock is above 70 on the RSI, some people can say, well, a pullback is pretty warranted here, and it could happen. You sitting at 3.3, even the 8 exponential moving average is at 0.038. So I think you're just fine. So you've got to decide now, with the stock being where it is, whether or not you believe it's going to continue to go higher, or was today's consolidation a little bit of a sign that, you know, it could cool off here. You know, it could cool off here.
Well, I'm one just to study the chart, and I'm looking at the chart. It looks like it's kind of, you know, got it like it's going up.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. I mean, absolutely. On the daily chart, you're going up. You're going in the right direction. You're absolutely going on in the right direction. Today's action, you went sideways, and then you cooled off a little bit towards the end of the day. You know, but again, I'm looking at the daily chart, how the stock has reacted, every bar being 1 day, and being where with the indicator you got today's candlestick, it shows that you possibly could have, you know, the stock could end up losing a little bit of momentum. Not saying it will. That's the possibility with where the stock is now. So you've got to decide whether or not you're going to continue to keep going, or you could see yourself having the stock test, you know, that where you bought it at, honestly.
Gotcha. All right, man. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, man. I'm the one who I sent you a Twitter today about MMEX. I had got in that also.
Yeah, I like MMEX, man. You know, with what's been going on recently in MMEX, again, the stock went current today. They've been putting out a lot of news recently, so I like what they're doing over there. You know, my goal in MMEX is that 0.0126. Let me see here. Let me see where my entry. Let me see 0.0126, and where are we at now? 82, which is 53%. Yeah, 0.0082. My goal is that the 200-day moving average, or slightly below. Yeah, actually the 200-day moving average, which is 0.0126, which would represent a 53% gain from where we are now. With the stock, with the way the stock has been acting, I mean, today alone you put up 41%. So this is not, you know, a goal that's out of the question for MMEX. We'll see what happens with it. I'm looking forward to it, but I love the way volume has been coming back into the stock after a lull. Volume is slowly coming back, and, you know, we'll see where it goes.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. Appreciate you, though, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thank you for watching.
All right, man. Have a good day.
All right. You as well. So, yeah, I like MMEX. We'll see what happens with it, man. Okay. Yeah, you guys are talking a little bit about that Major League Football, right? That Major League Football. I'm still watching it, but I haven't been able to get the sign that, you know, to stay in. As you can see, Major League Football has just been, you know, just dying off since March. You know, you had so much promise in the stock, but right now it's just got to bleed those sellers out. Volume hasn't been the greatest, and it's just bleeding sellers right now. So until we start seeing a real turnaround in the company, then we'll see, man. I've been watching the website, you know, Major League Football. I thought they were going to have a game in April, right? They were supposed to have a game in April. Or is it still on? Let me see here. They have 8 teams, supposedly. Let me see 1 second here. I'm going to the website. Yeah, and see, and they haven't really updated the website since October or so. The inaugural kickoff was supposed to be spring 2017, which is now pretty much. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything, man. I haven't heard anything. You know, Herm Edwards, the Super Bowl coach, was the senior advisor to the league. They already had a draft. They already had a draft where they drafted a whole bunch of guys who weren't picked up from the 2016 season. So guys who didn't make the practice squad, guys who ended up getting cut, who didn't get drafted, many of them were drafted by this league. But nothing's gonna, came up with it, which is going to be really cool because you're going to be able to see a lot of athletes you recognize from college football who did make NFL teams, but you'll see them in this league. But I don't know where it is. PIP. Somebody said PIP is a load of shit. I think your time has just got to come, man. It's been bleeding here in PIP. I understand what your goal is with PIP, looking to try to cover the gap, right? You're just looking to get in between the gap, whatever it is. You've had a lot of support at these levels, but it's slowly just kind of, and the bands are getting tighter, man. I mean, the bands are getting tighter. It's low on the RSI. So yes, are you deserving of a huge move in PIP? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, and we hope that comes soon. The company needs to drop some news, man. The company needs to drop some news. Yeah, we took a look at CBR. We took a look at CBR earlier to start off the day here on CBR. Beautiful, doji candlestick here, followed by the confirmation of the bulls, man. The bulls have, in fact, taken over, and they did so today very aggressively, by the way. The range was actually 45. That was your high. The high was 45 cents. And very aggressive day in CBR. And I think everybody got the link to learn how to do. And Bats, if you're still listening, maybe you can put that out. The link to pull up the doji, look up there on FinViz. Because if you look at your FinViz doji pattern recognition settings, right? So anything with a doji pattern pulls up, CBR was on that list yesterday. 704, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, Alex, what's up, man?
No, man, I was the one who posted that the PIP pile of shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I've been holding the damn thing since shit for over a month now. Been taking a beating on that damn thing. It's finally up to close to 80 cents.
Uh-huh.
I bought them at 84 cents.
Okay.
Hoping that the damn thing will go up to, to recover from the past.
Okay.
But damn, it's just not doing anything. And they are posting news. As a matter of fact, they posted news 2 days ago.
Let me see.
The company who's going to be taking over that company, apparently they just won a huge contract. But here's the thing with PI. Every time they post those news is during the after hours. So they post the news after hours, so the big players get all the money, and at 9:30, when it's time to sell, all the money is gone. That's the one thing that I hate about PIP. The little guy can never make any money out of those news. Why?
Man, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, that's God.
It goes up. The damn thing went up to $1.10 after pre-market. But then 9:30 comes in, and all the money's gone.
Man, that's crazy.
And I don't want to open a margin account. I don't want to borrow money from Robinhood in order to trade pre-market or after hours. Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to borrow money. That's the only way that you can play after market or pre-market.
Now,
borrowing money.
I'm looking at here that 5-minute chart, so I see where it got to as high as 95 cents yesterday. What was that? Wow, only for almost a minute before it started crashing.
Yeah, they it's always like that. How do you play those games? How do you do it?
Man, that's the only way you could have really done that, man, is if you had went and started the day with a limit order for that price. That's the only way you could have really had caught that. I can see here the stock was there for less than a minute, almost just exactly like a minute, right?
Yeah.
So, each candlestick is about 5, but I mean, I'd see it was barely there. Yeah, even if you had did it yourself,
And
you probably would have.
The same thing was when the financials came out. When there's a word for that. When the financials, the earnings, the earnings came out. You know, the earnings came out. Same thing, same scenario. That shit went up to the moon. But when the market opened, all the money was gone.
Wow.
So, and so that's, I'm still holding on to the damn thing. Hoping.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to continue to hold, or are you?
No,
I'm
still going to continue. I'm still going to. No, I'm going to continue to hold.
Okay.
I'm still going to. I'm going to hold my, my shares. I'm going to hold on to them until something happens.
Sure.
But damn, every time I see it pumping, I get really upset.
Sure.
And and for tomorrow, I can't. I just got to sit and watch because Schwab send me an email. I can't play no more because I've been using unsettled funds. He said. You've been using your unsettled funds, so you're gonna have to. If you get on a trade today, you won't be able to sell until Monday.
Sure.
I'm like, hell no, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
Because yeah, but yeah, that's it, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you for the call, Alex.
All right, man.
All right. So Alex not happy what's going on in PIP. And I had been seeing some guys mentioning PIP, a lot in the chat room there. And PIP, yeah, man, pissing some people off, including Alex. Sorry to hear that, man. Definitely sorry to hear that. I'd love the stock to be doing a lot better than what PIP is doing now. But, you can look at the RSI here on the daily chart, and there's a lot of justification that, if the stock were to come out with some really changing news, game-changing news, it's well-deserved in the stock to really make a move here based on this low RSI. All right, but that's probably not what you want to hear. Maybe, or could be. Who knows? Yeah, I'm done with E-Trade. I moved away from E-Trade. E-Trade is so crazy because, when all these brokers were lowering their prices, they lowered the $4.95, but they said, hey, you got to make 30 trades or so to qualify for that price. So I've been happy with Charles Schwab so far for my penny stocks. MSTX. Man, I haven't heard that ticker in a while here. If you guys remember MSTX, this was our PRP. All right, MSTX was our PIP. You guys, if you remember, we talked about stocks that gap down and trying to fill the gap. You want to talk about waiting and being patient. MSTX will test anything you talk about in terms of patience, man. Oh my God, MSTX. We wait. I think we waited for like 2.5 weeks for that shit to do something. Never did it. Yeah, Robinhood is great for NASDAQ plays. Robinhood real good for NASDAQ. Tasty Trade, yep. Tasty Trade's another good one too. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's whatever you're comfortable with and if you like the terms. And make sure you're protecting your slippage, All right. Restraining yourself from over trading. ERHC. Okay, this is one of those OTC energy companies. If you're going to go OTC energy, here's ERHE at 00002, excuse me. All right. Yeah, I don't know too much about that one. Let me go back to BLKG, which is that one that had a really aggressive couple days ago, if you remember BLKG. Now back to that bottom there at 0014. Huge turn in events there. Look at that. Stock went from where it is now practically to 0055. How long did it last for? Oh, just like 2 days, right? Was that 2 days? Actually, 1 day. Yeah, about a day and a half. This is about a day and a half right here. So if you missed out on BLKG, you really missed out. Jay Bino bringing up Sack Lunch, SAKL. That's a stock that I remember fondly. Sack Lunch. Sack Lunch is so funny because Sack Lunch used to run with another stock called Grilled Cheese Truck. But Sack Lunch is obviously, that's the one with the events, with the multiple events that they put on. This is a legit business, as you called up and talked about. And Sack Lunch, you would think that the stock would be doing a lot better because they actually do put on some very, very successful events that are attended by thousands of people. So we'll be watching that one. But the Grilled Cheese Truck, if you guys remember, GRLD, that was the stock of the Grilled Cheese Truck. You know, it's pretty much dried up now. But that's a stock that the owners do, you know, regularly pump here and there. So that's one that's going to be in the back of your head. Volume is dried up, though. MCOA. MCOA, 5% gain. All right, MCOA. Yeah, this is kind of one of those old MJ plays that can run. I mean, this is a stock that can run very aggressively. In fact, if we go to, let's see what the daily chart looks like. The daily chart, you can see on MCOA, the stock did go to as high as 16 cents. I don't think Bill Betts is still watching, but I remember Bill tweeting me about MCOA at the doubles. You know, this is another stock that went from 0030s all the way to about 15, 16 cents, representing, I think I want to say that was another multiple thousands percents. And this was actually a lot soon. It was another 3-month situation where it went from 0030 to, what was that, 15 cents? What was that high? 16 cents. All right, to 16 cents, which represents about a 5,000% gain. A 5,000% gain. Yeah, pretty high. And about 3 months for that one. I'm hoping so, man. I'm definitely hoping so. Somebody said they woke up to some $500 in CBIO. Okay, stock pulled back. 704, you're on the air. What's up?
Oh, hey, Sal, it's Astrid again. Can you do me a favor? Can you look at NEWC for me? This is one I've had it now for a while. I just piggybacked off of someone with this one. I just want to hear what you think about it.
No problem. I appreciate it. And NEWC here, as I got it on the chart, I do remember this is a stock that came on our list. We had a gentleman call up here and say, hey, NEWC, that's the one to buy, that's the one to buy. We kind of bought in a little bit too late on the run. The stock ended up pulling back. I remember just like yesterday. But now it looks like you're starting to level out there. You reached a recent previous support going back as far as December. You're actually just above it. Let me see here. Actually just above it, or yeah, just above it slightly. So we'll see here. I'll be watching it.
Okay. Yeah, I've been in this one since January because that's when I started trading. So that was actually my first stock, and I know this one's waiting on some news.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly what it. I think a contract or something we're waiting on. And then the other one, ASTI. If you could take a quick look at that one for me.
All right, ASTI. Yeah, I remember this one very clearly on ASTI. This is another one that was, I believe, does it have like a sister ticker or something like that was doing like incredibly well a couple weeks ago?
That I don't know. I'd have to look into that. I don't know.
Let me see here, because this time frame, I know it's very low.
This is a solar energy company.
Yeah, solar energy company. And I do see here, in January, in January had a run, but it just hasn't been able to maintain it since then. It's been slowly going lower.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this particular stock, Astrid, I don't know what's going on with this one, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Astrid. Not a problem. So appreciate the call. Yeah, those. I just, I don't know, man. NEWC. I remember this one because you guys remember he called up and he was talking about how NEWC had the coal company or whatever that they have, because it's like a marijuana play, and then the company has like a coal. They also have like a coal operation, and I just feel like NEWC is all over the place. But based on what we're seeing here on the charts, they're starting to level out. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, Craig G, exactly. I don't even want to say that guy's name because, he's all over Twitter just, pumping up stocks that he puts people in after he gets in. And I don't like that. I mean, I understand you want to make some money, but that guy always ends up screwing people. Have you noticed that? Like every time he brings out a pick, and I'll say his name, Sheepwolf. Every time he brings out a pick on Twitter, or if I see him, doing something, it very rarely does it go up after he starts talking about it. Very, very rarely. When he starts talking about it, you can almost bet that it's time to sell. PMEA. What's that? Okay, 0006 stock on PMEA. Here's the ticker. Here's the chart. Yeah, here's another one that I don't know too much about on PMEA. Max devices. What are you? Somebody else is using my computer or something? All right. So anyway, PMEA, 57% gain, 0006 stock. Yeah, I don't know. What else is going on in PMEA? Yeah, I don't have respect for that dude, because I mean, you got a lot of people out here who are looking for real guidance, and he'll put a lot of suckers into stocks and then end up shitting on them. You know what I mean? He knows that it's a wrap. Yeah, we talked about ACOL. I actually like ACOL, Alex. I like ACOL, man. I like ACOL. I love this run that's been on right now. Actually, no, that's the, let me get a little, it's all the way on this side. There we go. This run right here. All right. After, maintaining support here on the daily chart, by the way, had an incredible run. This is the first run when a lot of you guys bought into ACOL. All right. And got some really good gains out of this move. I think every single day it was almost up like 40 or 50% on every single one of these bars here. All right. Before coming down after hitting a really crazy top when it went supernova, as Tim Sykes would say. But yeah, it's moving again. It is moving again. So ACOL could be doing it again here. So it's definitely one to watch. ACOL is definitely one to watch. All right. Well, that's been today's show, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys for joining me. A lot of great tickers discussed today. I hope you guys are making money. Some of you guys are really making a killing on a lot of these. Some of you guys are really making a killing on a lot of these, and I love it. Making a lot of good money. And let me put out some of the tickers we discussed today. Not every single one of them, but most of them. That's Africa Emporium. He's got a good list today, too. I love seeing that DTII in there, too, as well. That's, incredible stock today. Let me bring up his SO, and I did see you bring that up. What was that? SNOAW. Very long ticker. Impressive gains. All right. I like that trend, by the way, too. All right. We'll see what it can do. That's a NASDAQ play, by the way. With that long ticker, I'm surprised. You had an FDA approval clearance for the company. I'm surprised. I thought it would do even better than that. Although 15% is nothing to... Actually went a lot higher. It was actually almost 80 cents before cooling off. So we'll see if that translates into multiple days. All right. Yeah, IDXG. We saw that was like that was one of the IDXG. Hold on, actually, what was on that biggest gainer list? Yeah, they actually got to as high as, what was that? 345. Did they cool off? Hold on here. IDXG. Am I looking at the right ticker? Yeah, IDXG at 345. Am I seeing it right? IDXG at 345 after hours? I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I'm looking at that right. Yeah, a lot of good tickers, man. Thousands of companies. We try to stick with the ones that matter right now. Again, I appreciate all the people who called up. Michael 91, Tada, Robert Polo, Darth Vader, 3 hooks. I will be back on the air tomorrow. All right, so yeah, okay, IDXG is up after hours. Put that on your list, man. It's up almost $1 after hours. I don't know how legit that is, but it's one to watch tomorrow. Appreciate you, Travis. Everybody press like on this video right now. Press like on this video right now. GRNH, appreciate that. Pause. Let me just take a look at that real quick. GRNH, no, just a real quick rush here. SFOR, I thought SFOR would do a lot better today, but I'm not mad at that candlestick though. I don't like the candlestick it gave out on SFOR, but I think going sideways is a lot better than a red day, so we'll see what happens in SFOR. Appreciate that, Mag3690. Everybody who's watching, Bad Scientist, Rob Drag, Ad Leon, Lawrence Kane, Africa Emporium. As you guys already know, join us in the Discord room, and appreciate you, Africa Emporium, and many of the other people who are contributing to the Discord room. And I think, as I've said many times, man, that's the hottest board right now in penny stocks. The hottest board right now. No disrespect to anybody else, but you want to be, if you're a new person, there's no better place to play right now than to learn than the Discord room and this show. Last quick call right here, 270. What's up? You're on the air. 270. You're on the air. What's up? Hey, listen to the phone. You're on the phone. You're live. Hello?
I got one for you.
All right. What's up? What you got for me?
Take a look at MOLOF. I was just alerted this day by, and that would be by the same people that
all right. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to let you go here. I'm going to have to let you go here, man. The quality, I couldn't even hear the guy, man. I couldn't even hear the guy. Sorry about that, man. I couldn't even hear you, man. All right, no offense, no offense. Don't take it personally. I just couldn't hear you. So call me back tomorrow's show, and we'll rock out, man. We'll rock out. I will be back on same time, same place tomorrow. Love you guys. Happy trading. Again, press like if you haven't already. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.